17-year-olds' thoughts on my generation. All right, you must be your older generation. Yo, Bill, I'm 17 years old. Oh, yo, your thoughts on your generation. I think the stigma that my generation and the one just a bit older than me being lazy is somewhat accurate, but not a complete rule of thumb. All right, I'm going to be a cunt here and give you my theory. I think because old people can go on the internet and talk about younger generations rather than just doing it down the barbershop like they used to, there's a lot more chatter out there. How could you be lazier than Generation X? What am I? Is that what I was? Gen X, yeah. It's so funny now. Like, I watch these things, and they act like Generation X people worked. Like our generation worked. And like when we were young, they called us the slacker generation. And then somehow the generation that called us the slacker generation, I think, died over the last 30 years. So now we get to rewrite our history like, now we were these hardworking people that rolled up our sleeves. I mean, some of us were. I don't know. Anyway, this person says, I think the reason that kids my age are lazy is because everything is so automatic. My dad owns a blue-collar business and my mom is a lawyer, so I grew up understanding the importance of both. What, blue-collar and white-collar? I'll be in class. I like your dad, man, married up. Good deal. I'll be in a class or the lunchroom, and the disdain that my peers have for any job below guy who tells people what to do is off the charts. Is that right? Well, maybe it's because you guys also are on like social media and everybody has to sit there and act like they have a bunch of money and they're killing it and living their best life. Anyway, having a blue-collar dad, I never looked at the janitors or the plumbers as morons. Someone needs to fix the fucking toilets, Bill. Exactly. I'm not saying that making fun of plumbing as a job is a big deal. Dude, if plumber, that's a fucking great job and an unbelievable skill to know how to do. I mean, every fucking 3 months, I have to remind myself where the main water shutoff is. It's the easiest. Run outside the house and just weak, you know? Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty, right? I fucking have all I can do to fucking do that. And these guys can go in there and redo your whole house if you want. Dude, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, mechanics, you know, those fucking Geek Squad people that can fix your computers. Like, I have a tremendous respect for all of those people. Those bootleg cell phone places that'll fix your iPhone screen and all of that shit. Oh, there goes your warranty. Go fuck yourselves, you Apple cunts. I don't give a shit. I love anybody that can fix fucking anything. I mean, that like the level of respect that I have and the fascination that I have with all of that, I just think it's amazing. You know? And then not to mention the sense of satisfaction you get when you go in, there's a problem, and you go in and you fix it. I mean, I get that when I walk around the house replacing all the track lighting that fucking burned out. You know? I just replaced the battery in the garage door opener. I get a little lift. I feel a little taller that day when I do that. I can't imagine if I went under the fucking sink and changed out a J-trap. I used to know how to do that. I don't do that shit anymore. I used to when I rented this fucking apartment. All of that shit. I learned how to do basic repairs with that shit and that plumber's tape and all of that. Got myself a big fucking monkey wrench and all of that. I got underneath there. I used to clean it out if my wife dropped something down there or it got like clogged up. That's what I do. I got under the sink. I take out the whole J-trap. I wouldn't snake it out, you know, because I didn't know how to use a snake. I would literally take the whole thing apart and just take a screwdriver down there. And then years later, I was just like, or I could have just learned how to snake the thing out. You know what I do now? I just call Roto-Rooter. That's the name, and away go your troubles down the drain. I think all of that shit's carpentry, electrician. To me, you're basically a wizard. I don't know how the fuck you do that stuff without killing yourself. Anyway, having a blue-collar dad, I never looked down on Jenica. Someone needs to fix the toilets, Bill. I'm not saying making fun of plumbing as a job is a big deal, but at the end of the day, most of my friends wouldn't even dare to try to understand how to do anything of the sort. I wonder if there's going to be like a plumbing shortage. Like I remember my whole time growing up, there would be periods where my mom was a nurse. There would be like nurse shortages. And because like for whatever reason, they would just go through periods of like, okay, we need to pay nurses. All right, we got enough. We're not paying them shit. And then women would be like, well, fuck that job. Okay, we need nurses. It would go back and forth like that whole debate about whether an egg is good for you or not. Anyway, one time I helped a girl jump her car in the parking lot, and instead of thanking me, she turned around and laughed, then said under her breath, why does he know how to do this? I wanted to cut that twat's brake line right then and there. Oh, right there and then is how you say it. She said that after you helped her out? You know what? That's probably because she feels dumb or she was with some dude that didn't know how to do it. I'll be honest with you. I got to remember how to do that. I always forget. Do you hook it up to the dead battery first or the live? I mean, positive to positive. I mean, that's easy. And then you also got to ground it, right? You got to clip it on the side. You know what my big thing that I really knew how to do and I could fucking do it in 2 seconds was change a tire. As like a comedian on the fucking road, and you'd get a flat on the fucking driver's side on the fucking highway. Oh my God. I had a piece of pipe like fucking 3 feet long, 4 feet long, right behind the bench seat of my truck. And I remember and I had like in my spare tire, I had it in my bed. I didn't have it underneath where it gets all, back east, that whole assembly would get all rusted and you couldn't get the fucking thing off if you wanted to. I had that in the bed of my truck till one night somebody fucking stole it. But I had it like ready to go. And I would fucking get out of the truck, that little fucking pussy-ass J-bar thing that they would give you, that you get no fucking leverage on. I'd put the fucking 4-foot pipe on it and just bang, get them all off while it was still on the ground, which is what you want to do. You loosen it when it's on the ground so the fucking thing doesn't spin or something like that. Then I would jack the fucker up, take it off, put it in. I'd have the fucking lug nuts in the bed of the truck, put it back on, fucking give it a yank, and I would be back in. I could literally change the thing. I had it changed in like under fucking like 5 minutes. Like I got to the point, I didn't even have hubcaps on my truck because, you needed like a Phillips screwdriver to take the fucking things off. And I was just like, I'm not dealing with that on the side of a goddamn road where I could get clipped. And I still remember coming back to, rest his soul, one of those Dick Doherty gigs in like Drake or Manchester, New Hampshire. And I got a flat tire. It was left rear, driver's side. And dude, I pulled like halfway off. I was in the emergency lane and I put 2 tires on the grass and I was still changing that thing and feeling the cars going by. And when that wind hits you, the lower part of your pant legs down by your calves and makes them stick to your shin. And I was just sitting there going like, please. I'd never been so fucking scared in my life. And that was just that. And knowing how to change the oil and the oil filter, air filter, fuel filter. I got myself I was really good at the outskirts. I never had the balls to get into gapping a spark plug and the timing belt and all of that type of distributor cap. All of that shit scared the shit out of me. But I think knowing how to do that stuff is the coolest shit ever. I don't know. I'm really going down memory lane here. So, look, I feel good. Like I said, if I change the battery on a goddamn garage door opener or if I change a tire, I feel like a fucking man. I can't imagine if you actually know how to plumb be an electrician or a carpenter. All right, Bill, you made the goddamn point. Why does he even know how to do this? You're welcome, cunt. Anyway, I think part of the problem is that we're all told to just keep our heads down and get into a good college. My uncle explained to me that college tuition can be unreasonably increased all the time because there's no limit to the loan amounts that we can have. He's the one who introduced me to your comedy and podcast. Oh, tell him I said thank you. My cousin graduated with $165,000 in debt and a degree in sociology. I asked him what he was going to do with it when he was in his junior year, and he had no clue. It was at a holiday gathering over dinner. My response in front of everyone was, "Don't expect me to support you when you have no job." I said it like a parent would in a fake stern voice. I was thinking I was being funny. He did not, neither did his parents. Yeah, because they're the ones that are on the hook for it. I think it's funny that all my friends do is blame boomers and Gen Xers for all the problems of the world, then turn to them as if to say, "How could you steer me wrong, man?" To sum it all up, I think there are many reasons my generation is or can seem lazy. Some of it is their fault, some of it isn't. That's the truest thing ever. And some of the problems of today are because of boomers and Gen Xers, and some of it isn't. It's more like where you're at right now, where you're sort of young and you're standing on the banks of the rushing river, and at some point you got to jump in and try and swim, and the deal is what the deal is, you know. I think everybody young is like, yeah, we're going to change this shit. And I think that's the genius of a college education, is it gets you so fucking behind the eight ball with the debt that you don't have time to question the Ponzi scheme. And you're like, fuck it, I got to play or I'm going to go under. I don't want to be one of these people living in a tent city under a fucking bridge. Well, that's depressing. I don't, as much as I bitch about shit, I don't look down on younger people or that type of shit. I do make fun of you, though, which is the right of being an older person. And all you guys can just say is like, well, you're going to die before me, and then you win.